Welcome back to episode 7 of the Locker Box podcast. We are live Sunday evening, post-weekend. What a difference 48 hours makes. We were on here on Friday. We were talking
in
about
high
the
spirits, would you say?
talking about the Canadiens like we're winning the Stanley Cup, and today, I don't even know if we're going to make the playoffs. I mean, we're in a playoff spot. I'm not that down on the team. I think we're gonna make the playoffs, but I mean, do you blame someone for asking if we're gonna make the playoffs? I think we're only like 3 points up on Columbus, 5 up on the Sens. Right now it is gloomy in Montreal Canadiens land. But we're still on here talking about the Habs. We actually have our first guest today.
Yeah, tip your cap to our first guest. You will find out who he is sooner rather than later. We don't know really how we're doing this. Do we announce him right now or do we let the fans wait?
We will let the fans wait. Harley, I know you were watching the game over at your brother's house. I waited all Sunday. Sunday, you don't really do much, but you have like the game to think about, the game to look forward to. One that started off a little slow. But, man, it had some excitement. But at the end of the day, the Habs were unable to pull off the victory. An 0-2 weekend when we were hyping them up, both saying they were going to go 2-0. So maybe we're the Jinx Masters. Maybe we're the Fugazis. Maybe we're the Mush Monsters. 4-2 loss at the hands of the San Jose Sharks on Saturday night in what wasn't much of an exciting game. And then back at it today, 24 hours later, a 4-3 loss to the Anaheim Ducks.
No excuse there for our team. Both teams were doing back-to-backs. And you know what? I thought we played a lot better than we did last night. I thought we played a full 60-minute game, and it just a lapse of defense there. I think we need to get a lot better defensively. I don't want to just go into the breakdown right now, but yeah, we have some holes in our team, some things we need to fix if we want to consider ourselves a playoff team.
That's for sure. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, we'll do a quick recap of the games or of tonight's game, and then we'll get our guests in. But Mike's tradition is tradition. Give us our ad read. Go ahead.
Jesus, White, I wasn't even ready for an ad read. Holy crap. Yeah, let me get
Bench
back
Connect.
to my...
I mean, before he gets into his Bench Connect, if you're looking for somewhere to play next year, maybe in the year after, professionally, collegiately, you're doing it wrong if you're not hitting up Bench Connect. I haven't used it. It's a newer platform, but I've heard some great things about it.
Yeah, well, you haven't used it, White, because you've hung up the skates. But if you're not like White, and if you're serious about moving up in hockey, this one's for you. Bench Connect cuts out the guessing. Players get exposure. Coaches find talent. Deals actually happen. Global Hockey Network. Real opportunities. BenchConnect.net is where opportunities are called. And ladies and gentlemen, we have, shout out to our partner at Bench Connect. We have a promo code for you, LOCKERBOX, promo code, use code when you sign up. That's Lockerbox when you sign up, and you will get, what actually do they get? A free trial. That's what they get. They get a free trial. I forgot what they got, but they get a free trial. I need to wake up. It's hard to wake up when your team goes 0-2 in such meaningful games, home games. You have the crowd behind you, and you let these teams that I would say are in similar situations to you are just absolutely not dominate you at home, but take 4 points from you. 4 very important points, and I am absolutely pissed off right now. So I think Marty from Montreal right now, not Coach Marty, but Martin, just driving to work tomorrow. He's not going to be happy. He's going to have a shit week, and he's going to fucking give it to his employees. You know, I would too, Marty. I'm pissed right now. 0-2. We need that. Big 2 games coming up. Bruins on Tuesday. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're getting your
I'm getting so much. I'm judging my skis right now. I've skied before. White's is not.
I've never.
But
skied.
Yeah, we will have Locker Box in the building on Thursday. So excited for that. I'll give you some content coming for that. But Whites, let us get back on our skis. Bring the skis back to the rails here. Where are we, Whites?
It happened. Mike's, it happened. We're on here Friday, posted Saturday prior to the news. And in real mush fashion, we're talking about how there's no chance Gallagher, or at least I am, Gallagher's getting scratched. There's no chance they're scratching him. Saturday, I think we post the video. We post our clips, and a few minutes later, it's like, oh, Gallagher is first on the ice for an optional skate. He will not play tonight. His first healthy scratch since his first season in the NHL. What do you make of it? Obviously, the outcome last night, I wouldn't call it. They didn't lose because Gallagher didn't play, but it definitely didn't help, in my opinion. You see Anderson's comments after the game. What do you make of it finally happening? The scratch.
Yeah, what do I make of it, Whites? You know what? I don't love it, but I think sometimes you gotta shake up the lineup a little bit. I think Marty said it best. This is a good situation when we have a lot of good players. We don't know who to toss in the lineup. I know who I don't want to toss out of the lineup, and that is Texier. He's really impressed me, so I will tip my cap to Texier. I don't even know if we have a tip our cap segment in this.
You do whatever you want.
Episode. We can do what we want here. That's what producer White's is saying. He's not even a producer, but he does both. But I didn't love the decision, but I don't think it's a game breaker whether he's in there or not. I think he did play a good game tonight, but as we know, he's not going to win you. He's not going to lose you games. But yeah, you could see by the comments by Anderson, he's a locker room guy. People respect him and people look up to him. And I think that's a guy you just need to you keep in the lineup no matter what. But where do you slot him? Right? I liked our fourth line tonight. Whites, what do we do?
Well, yeah. Like I've been pretty vocal about it. If you're scratching him for load management, to get him ready for the playoffs, like we still need to make the playoffs. I understand it. He's an older guy. He's got a lot of miles. The way he plays, he doesn't do any favors to his body. But if you're scratching him because you think there's better options out there to help the team win moving forward, I disagree. You're 12th forward, and I keep saying this, but your 12th forward is not going to be the difference maker. So might as well have Brendan Gallagher in there because of the positive impact he has on the young guys, the positive impact he has in the locker room. But again, look, 0-2. One night he didn't play. They lost. The next night he plays, they still lose. So like we said, 12th forward, he's not going to make or break a game, but I prefer to have him in there. I guess we can jump into tonight's game. Last night's game is behind us, but tonight's game, what went wrong? Just give me, I know it's still really raw, but we're podcasters. We need to talk about this. Even when it's hard, we need to talk about it. What went wrong tonight? What do you think?
Whites, and that's a great question. Like, I think just the grade A chances that we give up. I think we played a solid game. I really like the game we played, but sometimes we're just giving up a lot of grade A opportunities, and it just seems sometimes we may have a big opportunity moving up front, and then our guys are stuck on the ice. Now we're all over the place, and it looks like we're junior B playing defense out there. Somebody's here. I got Dobson at the point, then everyone's looking around, where do I go? And it's just like, it's kind of a mess in the D zone sometimes. And then you got Fowler bailing you out all the time. And unfortunately, he couldn't bail us out on that last goal because Hutson tried to cheat the inside. As a defense, you want to make sure you're in between the post and the puck. Hutson tries to go outside of that. Cutter Gauthier makes a great play. He goes to the net, and hell of a play. What was that guy's name? Vial or something like that?
Yeah.
He's the one. He's the one that he actually hurt Kirby Dach. That's another subject. I don't know if we have that on our docket here, but prayers up to Kirby Dach. We hope he comes back quick because we know Kirby hasn't had the easiest career. But yeah, Hutson gets beat to the net, and hell of a shot by Cutter Gauthier there. Beats Fowler 5-hole, and can't blame that on Fowler. So I think he had a great game again. I'm not blaming that win on or loss on Fowler. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, he made some big saves. It's hard to pinpoint like what went wrong just because it wasn't like a major thing, but what it is just minor, like you said. It's just little details in the D zone, especially defensively. But they're in good position on the first coming up the ice on Anaheim's first goal, and then it's a few missed assignments, gets pucks watching, and then on their last goal, it's just a guy in Hutson missing his assignment, getting lost in the D zone. So it's just little things, but those little things add up. And when you're playing in what month are we in? When you're playing in March, when you're playing in April in these big games, there's not much separating both these teams. And the team that makes less mistakes usually ends up winning the hockey game. I mean, if you play hockey, you probably heard your coach say that 1,000 different times, and that's what ended up happening tonight. So a little bit of fixing to do, not much time. And with two big games coming up, like you've already mentioned, Mike, give me some players who disappointed you this week, and someone you look at and you're like, I don't think he performed well enough for us to win.
Yeah, I think Matheson.
Mhm.
I'm a defense, so I'm gonna pick on the
Yeah.
defense here. I didn't like Matheson's game tonight. I just because it's fresh right now. I can't really think of his game last night. I don't think he did anything great. I don't think he did anything bad last night aside from knocking that guy out. Hopefully that guy's all good. That was a non-intentional play. I think we could all agree there. But Matheson tonight, I really didn't like his game. Wasn't making the right plays. Bobbling the puck at the point. Usually he uses his feet a lot more and then makes the right play. It just seemed every play he was making wasn't the right one. Matheson I didn't like, and I know this is gonna suck, but Hutson, he's getting the points. What a play! What a pass to Newhook. That's great offensively. We need that. That's what we come to expect. But I feel it just seems these past 2 games he's been getting out muscled a lot, and you can't really blame him. He's a small guy and he's gonna get out muscled a lot. But being that he's smaller, he has to position himself better in
Mhm.
order to not get beat and not get out muscled. But I didn't love Hutson in the D zone. I'll say these past 2 games. Whites. What are some maybe forwards, or if you want to pick on a D, what are forwards that you didn't like their
Yeah,
game?
I mean, I know the narrative kind of in Habs land right now is Guhle hasn't been playing well. He hasn't. I didn't like him either on that last goal. He lost his footing. Could have called maybe he thought VL might have slew footed him, but still you can't get out battled there. You can't get out muscled with 3 4 minutes left. You disagree?
I agree. That's a great point. I don't like Gouley. I didn't like Gouley's past 2 games, but I
Yeah.
just can't. I'm not gonna put that one on Gouley there. Right?
No.
He like
No.
he got out muscled there, but at the end of the day, that's whether he got out muscled or not. You're gonna lose battles during the game,
Yeah.
but if Hutson has his guy there, that
No.
but White's that's why we're co-hosts.
You're the defenseman, so I'm gonna let you. But what I wanted to get on Gouley is like I'm gonna give him a free pass right now. People are saying like we need to have a discussion about Gouley. Like we gotta trade Gouley. How Gouley's not a part of the
Future.
future, and it's like this guy's missed 90% of the season. Like you're basically coming from behind. You're starting like at a deficit from everyone else. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully he can figure it out here throughout the rest of the season. I feel like playoffs, he'll pick up his game. And then next year, I'll be open to the conversation of Goalie if he's still playing this way. But give him a chance. Give him a summer to come back.
Yeah.
And then we'll have that conversation.
We'll give him a summer. I was hoping he used the Olympic break and he was back to the normal Goalie. Obviously, he's still not 100% his game at least. And yeah, I agree. That's a good call on Goalie. I guess our D core as a whole just needs to be a little bit better because
Just defensively.
the offense is there. It's not. I wouldn't say it's dry. I think we're playing pretty well offensively. Talked about Demidov. Holy crap. Yeah, that's someone on our radar. So Whites, maybe you want to transition into somebody who impressed you?
Yeah, I mean it's not all bad, right? There's some positives this weekend, not many. We lost it. We went 0-2, but we lost to 2 teams that can't gain ground on us. They're in the opposite division, and players who impressed. Demidov, I thought he had a hell of a game. I thought he's been really well over the last little while, and today he was dancing. He was toe dragging everybody. He looked like vintage Whites toe dragging. So I really like Demidov's game on the power play at 5-on-5. He's letting the game come to him, I feel like, more now, and he's making those plays rather than trying to force it. And he's also a dog on the forecheck. You talk about Celebrini being a dog on the forecheck. I wouldn't I wouldn't compare the two, but like he also is pretty freaking good on the forecheck. He hunts down pucks. He wins puck battles with his stick. Maybe not with his body, but he's got a good stick. So I think Demidov, Slafkovský, like,
Whites,
can we? Oh, go ahead.
Whites, I just want to interrupt before you go on your tandem with players who impressed you.
Yeah.
We're 0 for 4 on the power play tonight. What do you think of the power play? I know you're talking about Demidov and he's been a little bit more patient on the power play. What is your thoughts on the power play tonight?
I like the power play tonight. I thought they had some good looks,
especially at the start of the game.
First period.
They were like that. Talk about a power play that generates momentum without scoring. That's what you talk.
Yeah, I like the power play. Sometimes you're not going to score every night. The bounces aren't going to go your way. But if they play like that on the power play 9 out of 10 times, I think they're going to come away with a goal or two, and that's all you can ask for. So I hope they continue to play like that. They did today. I didn't like the power play yesterday, so I think they're making improvements on the power play. I had no problems with it. Like, yeah, you
right
got to
now
score,
our
but
worst enemy is Lucas Dostal. Is it Luca or Lucas Dostal? Lukas Dostal.
I
Yeah,
don't even know.
that's our worst enemy right now. He played a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. You're on Slafkovský right now. Players who
Slafkovský, I mean, that
impressed you.
assist, get off me, right? Lacombe, get off me. Make U.S. Olympic roster over Hutson. Get off me. So he had a hell of a game, I thought, too. He's playing with pace. He's dictating the play. He's strong. He's big. That's a power forward, elite power forward. So I guess we could consider this a tip your cap segment. Mike, do you got anyone else who's impressed you this weekend a little bit?
Yeah. And I know I mentioned at the start of the podcast, but Alexandre Texier. A little French accent for you. I do not think you take him out. I know we had Bolduc out of the lineup tonight. That was that. I don't know if you noticed that, Whites, but Bolduc was not out of the lineup, or he was out of the lineup. Yep. And I agree with that call. I didn't like. That's one guy didn't impress me yesterday or the past couple games, to say the least. But Texier has. I think Texier's been working really well. You can't take him out of the lineup with the way he's playing. So he's really impressed me. He's generating offense. Especially on that second power play. I believe he created, I don't know, he created some offense today. I liked his game. I like Texier right now. You keep him going. And then Fowler, you can't forget about Fowler. I think, I know I was speaking about it last podcast, and I'll say it again. He made some huge saves for us. I don't know would you blame any goals on Fowler today? Maybe Carlson's second one?
No, that was the one that tipped off of Anderson's leg and went the complete opposite way. That was the backhand, right?
No, that was Troy Terry.
I honestly don't even remember the second
goal. The second goal I kind of forget, so I was kind of hoping to lean you on that one. But on the rest of the goals, I don't really blame him. He made two big glove saves, which has fans were loving, give him a little standing O. But yeah, he impressed me despite the loss. I don't think you could put it on him.
No, I don't think so either. I think that pretty much does it. We could tip our cap quickly to Caufield, 1 goal away from 40. This guy, all he does is score. He gets sick, comes back, keeps scoring. So, I mean, 1 goal away from 40. We'll talk about that more when he gets it, or if he gets it, because I don't want to be the mush monster anymore. But I think it's time to give it away, make history on the Locker Box podcast to our first ever interview. So we'll catch you. I think we'll finish the episode with the interview. So we'll catch you again at next time, boys.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and
we hope you enjoy the interview.
First Locker Box interview. Enjoy.
Welcome to Pierce Diamond, our first ever guest on the Locker Box podcast. Pierce, our guest today has built a strong reputation in the goaltending world, both behind the bench and on the ice. He's currently the goalie coach for the Trail Smoke Eaters in the BCHL and has worked with goaltenders across multiple levels, including Okanagan Hockey Academy in the CSSHL. Mice, we played in that league.
We played in
the
that league.
Osoyoos Coyotes and the Princeton Posies. If I'm getting these wrong.
Wait, is it the Posies? What's going on, White?
Posse.
Cowboys.
Posse of the KIJHL.
We don't have those out east, so we wouldn't know.
KIJHL, as well as the Okanagan Rockets AAA program in the BCEHL. So this guy's all over the place. If you need a goalie guru, he's your guy. On top of that, he's worked with a long list of minor hockey associations, helping develop young goalies throughout the region. He's also the owner, tip your cap, and
tip
lead
your cap
coach
to the owner.
of
Is that
the Diamond
good? Is that good?
Goaltending, and the co-owner and lead coach of Crease Masters. This guy does it all. He does it everything. He's everywhere. Where he continues to train and mentor the next generation of goaltenders.
Wow, that was pretty impressive.
We're not done.
You're not done. He's not done.
He had a playing career that included 4 years of Junior A hockey between the AJHL and BCHL, followed by some time in Division III NCAA hockey, where he met us, where we met Pierce, had the pleasure of playing a year with Pierce. So we're excited to have you on. You're our Montreal Canadiens goaltending guru. We're going to talk some goaltending situation. Montreal Canadiens goaltending has been a huge topic as of late. So, Mike, I don't know if you want to start off. I've been talking a lot, but Pierce, welcome to the pod.
Yeah, Pierce, welcome to the pod. We're so excited to break history, get you on the podcast. I'm not gonna lie, we had a lot of people reaching out. They want to be on the podcast, but we were thinking goaltending. It's, as White said, it's been an issue, and our first thought went to diamond cut goaltending. Maybe the Habs hire diamond cut goaltending, get rid of whoever they just hired after they fired the old guy. Because right now, I was gonna say it's not working. I wouldn't blame the goaltending right now, but Whites, do you want me to start off on the first question here? What do you
Go
want?
ahead.
What do you
Go
want?
ahead.
What
I'm
do you
so
want?
excited. Go
What do
ahead.
you want? I'm just so excited. So I'm gonna word for word. This is our first interview. I'm nervous. I'm just gonna read word for word here. All right. So the Canadiens started the year with Montembeault and Dobeš in net. It's turned into a bit of a carousel with Jacob Fowler coming up as well. He came up early in the season. We sent him down. Now he's back with us. From a goalie coach's perspective, how hard is that for a team to manage during the season?
It can be tough. I think especially like the condensed schedule they have too this year, right? Like you hear with injuries and everything, teams aren't practicing, right? So if you got a 3 goalie rotation where all guys are relatively young, 2 especially pretty young, right? You want them to get into a rhythm and develop, but at the same time, you guys are competing for playoffs, right? You're trying to be as high of a seed as you can, so you can't really stick to a guy like Montembeault when he's struggling and struggling. You keep pushing him back out there to be the guy. At some point, if it's not working, you have to switch to the guys that are hot. But it can be tough because you're trying to create competition, then you also want them to develop, but at the same time, you need points. So it's tough managing
Exactly.
3 goalies, I think, at any level.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know exactly what you said at the start. We brought up Fowler because obviously Montembeault wasn't working. Fowler did good. We sent him down because we kind of thought that Montembeault, we needed him to get going to be a successful team. I mean, we can't forget he was the 3rd goalie on the 4 Nations team last year, and now he can't even make an NHL team, which is tough. And that's not going to work. We're obviously pushing for playoffs. We just lost 2 games. Now we might not even make playoffs, but at the end of the day, I feel like we tried our best with Sam Montembeault, and he's just not doing it for us. So now, yeah, it's kind of an awkward situation. Whites, you want to continue? Go question 2 here. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, talking Montembeault, but also you mentioned kind of like having a 3 goalie rotation, right? It's not easy to manage, but as a goalie, like going back to your goalie days, like what does that do to the rhythm of a goalie or a position when you're not playing as much? You know, you have 2 other guys that are competing for the same spot as you are.
I think it's tough. I think it's especially tough if you're in Montembeault's shoes, right? I think when you're Fowler and you're getting called up, it's all new to you, right? You're the young guy. You're 21 years old. You're just playing a bunch in the A. So when you come up, everything's the best day ever, right? It's your first weeks in the
Yeah.
NHL. I'm sure he's just on cloud 9. So anytime he got a chance to play, it's probably easy. He's excited, right? He has the pedigree to do it. I'm sure we'll talk about kind of where he stands out and levels up compared to the other goalies, but he's in a different situation than the other 2. Where Dobeš, I mean, he's been interesting as well. Like he plays some games and he goes on a stretch like early in the year when he's winning every game, has one bad game, and he comes out in an interview basically really emotional, right? Saying he can't win a game when he was the winningest goalie in the league at the time. So I think all 3 of them, especially Dobeš and Montembeault, you can see at different points in the year, they're probably feeling the pressure of, hey, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Only 2 guys are really going to dress every night. Montembeault hasn't been able to figure it out, and I think part of it is he's getting pushed. He never got a chance to get into a rhythm. He sees other guys step in. Dobeš is winning games. Fowler's stealing games at times. So it's hard for him to get back into a rhythm. And then with Dobeš, I mean, he's young too, right? I think you guys have seen him more than I have this year. He's kind of it's an interesting stat line, right? His numbers don't really jump off
Yeah.
the page, but he wins a ton of games. So I
Yep.
think he's done well to kind of battle and find ways, even though he kind of rides that roller coaster sometimes. And then Fowler, when he's come in, I think he's just shown his pedigree. And in a sense, he's the one that's kind of pushed Montembeault out the door for the time being.
Do you think that's like those stats sometimes, like save percentage and goals against, are like over analyzed because the guy's winning games, right? Like at the end of the day, all you need to do is win a game. So if he's not producing this, and every goalie stats are kind of down across the league. Like even Dostal today, like he's a hell of a goalie. He is a
I
below
think
900 save.
898,
Yeah, it's so sometimes I feel like do you think it's like over analyzed because he has a bad save percentage? I mean, the guy's winning games.
100%. I think we'll use the Oilers as an example because their goaltending is a bigger mess than your guys is, right? Like when they have 900 goaltending, they're basically undefeated. You can't beat them. But a lot of that
And
has to do with how does your team play in front, right? Like sometimes you can be, no matter what level, you could give up 25 shots and maybe you gave up 3 grade A's. It's an easy night for a goalie. Or you give up 25 shots and 15 of them are grade A chances, right? So I think the stats can be a little bit skewed. I think sometimes guys on weaker teams like Calgary, both their goalies have 910, 920 something, but they're giving up 45 shots a game. So at times, your team might be weaker, but you're getting more volume, you're getting more puck touches, you can get into a rhythm easier. It's also more beneficial for your stats. So I think Personally, I think wins are the biggest stat. And then for the actual analytical stats, I know the new one, the goals saved above expected, is usually the closest, I would say, marker to how a goalie's playing. But besides that, it's kind of tough to just put on save percentage and goals against.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually think, White's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they showed on last night's broadcast that when the Habs get over 900 goaltending, they were like 26-0-4, something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was even watching the Habs game tonight. I was like, man, there's some similarities. Like, they're very different teams, but to the Oilers, like, they score a lot of goals. They're down 2. They're never out of it. And then it's like
They give up so
they
many
give
great
up.
A's.
They gave up so many great A's, but then they score. So it's like, oh, we're down 2-0. We're not doing anything. And then 2 minutes later, they're up 3-2 because they just have such good
Look,
offense.
I wouldn't even lie. When we were down 2-0, I actually was not nervous. I actually thought we would come back, which is like good, but it's like we can't go behind 2-0 and give up these great A's. So you kind of touched on this. If you're the head coach or the head goalie coach of the Montreal Canadiens, are you trying Montembeault at all for the rest of the season?
I think unless those two struggle and you kind of are put in a situation again where you're like, hey, somebody's got to take hold of the crease, I'm probably not putting him back in. That might be a hotter take because, like you said, he's on First Nations or Four Nations last year. He's got the most games, right? He's a 5+ year vet in the NHL. The other guys are not. They don't really have much playoff experience, but at this point of the year, those are the two goalies that have been able to get points for the team and also steal some points for the team. And I think they're both young. I think it's kind of probably been decided, at least from my view, that long term with this young team as they build, those are the two goalies of the future with that team. So while they go into this playoff experience and they try to learn from what they did last year and maybe win some rounds this time, you want that growth that goes with the team to be with the young goalies that are also going to grow with them in the future. So I personally am probably putting Sam Montembeault in that third spot. I don't know his waiver situation, so I don't know how that would go.
I don't think they could send him down.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they could, but I think, I think if
I
they
think
send
they
him
would
down,
just
I think,
scratch him, right?
yeah, I think they're just going to scratch him at this
Put
point.
him in the press box.
I don't want to harp too much on Montembeault. Kind of want to look ahead, but he's a good guy, a good teammate. But you don't watch. Yeah, you don't. I hear he's a good guy. You don't watch too much. You don't watch too much of the Canadiens as intently when Montembeault's in net. But is there something like technically you've seen over the time, or do you think it's more just mental?
I think it's a mix of both. I think when you're at the NHL level, like every guy there can stop the puck and is capable. Like you see randomly, like back in the day when the Hamburger came in and took Ottawa to the finals, right? Any goalie in the NHL can kind of get hot and just go on a run. It's the really good ones that can stay consistent, right? Or when their B game or their C game isn't such a low floor, right? So I think part of the thing with Montembeault is that when he's on, he's as good as any of the goalies, right? He's a big frame. He can be athletic. When he's good, his hands are good. When I watch him this year, right, he's on his heels, right? He doesn't look comfortable reading the play or having anticipation. Like when I was going over some of his goals against this year, like there's some plays where a guy will cut across the zone, like let's say around the ringette line. He's way far out of his crease, dropping to his knees, missing his post. The next time a guy comes down, now he's playing super deep. He's kind of caught in his crease in the middle of the net. Both times he gets burned, right? So it just doesn't look like a guy that's confident in his game, not confident in his reads. And then another thing that you guys may have noticed is, again, seeing him more, is I don't know if he's the most conditioned goaltender in the NHL.
Nope.
And I think you can see those habits come up, right? Like he's late to set. He's not moving as sharp as he can. When he's still moving his feet and he hasn't set in time because he's got a lazy habit, boom, a quick shot beats him, right? Where guys, again, Fowler's younger and he's probably a different pedigree possibly, but when I watch him, he's a small guy, but he's sharp, right? He's set on every shot. Everything looks stationary. He's beating plays on his feet, right? It looks like a guy that's more confident and honestly more powerful of a skater, which at the end of the day is as important for a goalie as it is for a player.
Yeah. I think they call him
That's
Snack.
Such a good answer.
Such a good answer.
This guy's, it's not his first rodeo. It might be our first rodeo. I'm listening to things. I'm like, I didn't even notice that. I'm not seeing him set late. I'm like, I just see him freaking let an easy shot in. I'm like, come on, Dobeš would have had that.
You're too focused
Holy
on
crap,
doing
what
the
an
songs
answer.
behind the net, man. That's on
Yeah,
your focus.
I am a song guy. Actually, Lane Hutson loves doing the song.
That does not
He's a
surprise
big
me.
song guy.
Mike, you want to get into Dobeš? Ask a question about Dobeš. Move on from Montembeault.
Yeah, let's get a Dobeš here, or let's get into Dobeš here. Whites, where's the Dobeš question? Is it number 3 here? Where are we going?
No, just off your top of your head, what do you like? What do you see that Dobeš like does well? What do you think he's not so great at? Like as a goalie.
Let's get Montembeault out of our head here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dobeš. I'm thinking Fowler right now, and I'm thinking 2 completely different goalies. I look at Dobeš. I see somebody who is all over the ice. Like, he is everywhere. He's in his net. He's out of his net. Sometimes he's behind the net. He's all over the place. He's diving there. He's diving here. I think they probably worked on that in the offseason because I don't think he's doing it as much as he did the year before. And then you look at the other side. You see Fowler. This guy, and I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. His calmness reminds me of Carey Price. It's like insane, like his calmness in there. So what do you like? I feel like they're completely different goaltenders, but they're both kind of getting it done, you can say.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I had a question there. I was just saying.
They are very different, right? I think I'll start with Fowler because it's a little bit easier. Again, it's tough when he's a Montreal Canadian goalie and he's young and you throw the comparison to Price, but I get it, right? Like the way that they play is similar. It's not saying that he's going to go be the best goalie of our generation, right? That's big shoes to fill, but he's calm, right? Like he doesn't even look big in the net. I know he's like 6'1", right? But he skates so well and he reads the play so well. Like even watch the first period of the game tonight, and there's certain plays that happen where he's reading the play and he's so quick to it on his feet that a grade A looks just like a stationary shot, hits him right in the chest, he cradles it, right? Like I think guys that can skate at that level, and he's kind of been like that his whole career. Like in Boston College, I believe, it was kind of dominant. It was too easy for him, right? Because he's so quick, he can read the game so well, and he kind of just has that calm, almost cocky demeanor in the net, where even if he does give up a couple, or in a big scramble situation like that Ottawa game a week back and they're getting 15 shots in a minute, he's so calm and it looks easy for him, right? He's never chasing the play. Then you look at Dobeš, who's a bigger frame, right? So he's more of your prototypical goalie in the NHL. He can seal low well because he's so big. But like you said, he plays kind of like a young guy, right? Like he chases the play sometimes. His battle and compete are as good as they can be. So he makes some primetime saves, but he also makes the game difficult for himself. And like a term I use is he's a very flat line goalie. Like, in bubble hockey, your goalie can just move on a flat line, as opposed to being able to like rotate and keep the pucks in front of him. So square to his shoulder and his chest,
amazing.
And just eating stuff. He's flat line. He's kind of flying all over the place, trying to battle, right? That's why he makes so many kind of like spread eagle saves and just rolling all over the place. Again, I think both of them are good. I think Dobeš, despite being older, is probably a little bit more raw, but I think those are two guys that are both pretty high pedigree and you can build around, especially as a team. They kind of fit the same age group.
Do you see an issue in being a flatline goalie like in the future? Like, do you think he should have to change, or should he just rock with that's his style and keep it going?
I think a little bit of both. Like I think it's more efficient to try to be able to be square to pucks all the time, because then you're not having to reach beside you and open holes. It's a lot easier to kind of where you see those goalies where everything around their arms, around their ribs just sticks to them, as opposed to when you see goalies, it hits them and it kind of leaks through, right? A lot of that is, are they square to the puck, right? Because then you can see a hole. So I think for him, it's something he's probably sure their coaches work on, trying to keep pucks in front of them. I know every coach has a different style and different things they want to focus on. But at the end of the day, you don't want to basically tame him too much and say, hey, you have to play this exact style, because this style is not going to work for every single guy, right? So it's kind of a little bit of a compromise just so you can be more consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, do you mind if I ask another? I know I'm firing away.
No, I love this.
So early in the season, we fired our goalie coach and hired another guy. How important is the goalie coach on NHL
he's
team?
a goalie coach. It's going to be very
exactly.
important.
But how different is it, right? Like, is the goalie coach completely like changing the way the guy plays, or the way, like, how does that really work? Because obviously me and White, we're not goalies, so we don't know how you really work with your goalie coach. Like, how does that change things up? Like, I know you fire a head coach and then you switch sometimes you switch the whole way your team plays. Is that similar with a goalie?
I think it can be, but I'm sure at the NHL level, it's more or less of focusing on habits and fixing habits, and maybe trying to be, again, if guys are getting to that level playing however they play, their habits are going to be fairly good and their skill level is going to be the best in the world. So you don't want to go in and say, hey, Dobeš, we want you to play exactly the same way Fowler is, right? Because he may not just be able to do that, or it might not work for him. And he has certain strengths that Fowler doesn't have. So I think it's more of a lot of it at that level is building a relationship, right? Like both goalies have to trust that goalie coach has their back. But at the same time, he's seeing things that hopefully the goalies or maybe the goalies aren't noticing. And they're trying to fine tune those habits all the time. I think at the NHL level too, with not a lot of practices and a million games, they're not reinventing the wheel and changing a million things about their game, but they're really trying to fine tune and fix habits and fix reads so that when they're playing, just like a player, you don't want to be thinking a million miles an hour. You kind of just want your habits to be good. You're reading the play. It's all coming kind of organically. That's what I think they try to focus on, improving their reads, improving their habits so they can just be more consistent. Because again, for Dobeš, that's probably the biggest thing.
Mike's great.
Go
Don't
ahead.
ask me. Don't ask me if you could
Yeah.
ask a question. That was a great question.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
a
I
great
know
question.
I've been firing them off. I thought you.
No, that
wanted
was
to
a
get
great
some-
question.
some-
We'll go through a few more here. I think one thing, like one reason the Canadiens maybe didn't call up Fowler earlier in the season, and a lot of people are saying it's like they don't want to hurt his development. Like, this guy's the goalie of the future. Like, we don't want a year that we're not ready yet to win the cup. We're a good team, but we're not ready yet to win the cup. Like, are we hurting his development by having him up in these situations? Like, what do you say about that?
I don't think so unless he was really struggling, right? I think if he was getting thrown to the fire and he was playing 3 out of every 4 games and he was getting in a slump where 4 or 5, 6 games in a row, he's giving up 5 or more, and you can tell his body language is getting bad. He's getting frustrated. It's just not clicking for him. I think that can ruin his development. Or I think if the Habs were the 28th place team in the league and every game he was going in, he was being forced to try to steal it, I think that could also create roadblocks for him in his development. But I think with how good he's playing, again, he's going to have games where he's not the best and he makes rookie mistakes. But for how good he's playing and how good the team is, I think it's good for him, right? It gives him pressure games down the stretch when they're trying to make the playoffs and get home ice or whatever position they can. So it's good learning experience for him. And then I think it also, when he's still getting pushed by Dobeš, right? I think it's good to create that competition, that rivalry with their own crease, to knowing that, hey, they're pushing each other to get better, but at the same time, their team's pushing for something. So I think as long as he's not struggling really bad, I think it's great for his development. And then I think a couple of years down the line, when hopefully Montreal's a contender, he's grown through all these things before, right? He's had a playoff push into the spring. He's hopefully won a round or lost a round, right? He kind of has those tools in his toolkit now to reach back on.
Yeah. Like, I got 2 more. I want the last one, but you could take this one.
I had one off the top of my head.
Go ahead. We don't. Yeah.
I might have already asked it, but when me and Whites were talking last episode, we were trying to figure out what we were gonna or what they should do with the goalies to end the
this
season.
was one of my questions.
This was one of your. Should I say it or no?
No, go ahead, and then I got another one.
Okay, perfect. We're thinking what should they do, and we're saying who should they play and how many times should you play them, and my answer was you give 50% of the games to Dobeš, you give 50% of the games to Fowler, and whoever plays better in those 50% of the games, you're our starter for game 1 of the playoffs. That's hopefully if we do make the playoffs, because right now after this weekend might not look that way. Would you do anything differently?
Not too differently. The only thing I would say is that you don't want to pre-plan the 50% exactly too far in advance, right? Like every week right now, they're basically playing 3 or 4 games anyways. So they're both going to almost split it every time. But let's say you have a back-to-back with Tampa, Florida, and then you go play Buffalo, right? 2 of those teams are really strong. One team, Florida, they're kind of trying to get the best draft pick. So if you are more confident in the recent or the past 5 games in Fowler, maybe you give Fowler Tampa and Buffalo, you give Dobeš Florida, right? To try to build him back up and test Fowler, see how he's doing against the top teams in the East, right? So 50-50 time-wise, essentially no more than 60-40, I would agree, right? You want them both to get the experience. You don't want to burn one out going to playoffs either. And then it does create that competition if they're both playing regularly to see who's hot going into playoffs, and you can kind of be strategic on who they're playing against, whether it's against good teams you think you're going to play in the first or second round, but then using those games to kind of figure out who's your guy going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't even realize it's a lot more strategic than I originally thought. I thought it's like, all right, you kind of pre-plan this guy. It's 50-50, you go back and forth. I guess, yeah, okay. we want to play this guy against this team because he doesn't have his confidence. This might grow his confidence. So I guess there's a lot more thought behind
Yeah.
it than I
It's
originally
not
thought.
easy. Yeah. Okay. We're down 0-2. Habs Nation's a little down right now. You have one opportunity here to fire us up. Give us a reason why, or talk to us why we should be excited about Jacob Fowler.
I would be excited about Jacob Fowler because one, he's won at levels before in the USHL, right? He's carried his team, the Phantoms, to the Clark Cup championship. He was dominant in college. I know they didn't win the Frozen Four, but he was by far the best goalie in college, dominating the league. And he's the highest pedigree goalie that you guys have, right? I think it's probably the highest pedigree goalie that you guys have had since Carey Price, right? Again, that's not saying that he's going to be Carey Price, but you have a guy that is widely regarded as a legit number one, right? A guy that hopefully down the line will play 60 plus games a year. You don't have to worry about goaltending. Your goaltending can match up with anybody at the other end of the ice. Is he there right now? No, he's still 21 years old, right? Same thing with Fleury, Price, any of those guys when they're 21. There's going to be growing pains, but he also has the highest pedigree and the highest ceiling to turn into that guy that can dominate and be a game changer in the playoffs. So I think goaltending wise, although it's not great having 2 chairs and 3 goalies and trying to sort it out, you have one guy that for sure has the pedigree to be a legit number one and build a franchise around moving forward. You just have to allow him to develop in that and give him the support that he needs. And hopefully throughout the experience this year, hopefully plays in the playoffs, gains more experience. And a couple of years down the line, that'll pay off and he can end up stealing series and being basically we'll call him a horse on the back end in the playoff rounds that you kind of build your team around.
That I'll tell you right now, that got me excited. The Montreal Canadiens, you heard it here first on the Locker Box podcast, will win a Stanley Cup within the next 5 years. You heard it first. Jacob Fowler will be the horse on the team to win that cup. Whites, this is what? Do you have anything else?
We tip our cap on this podcast. Let's tip our cap to the goalie guru, Pierce Steinman. That was unbelievable.
He is our goalie guru. I didn't know what to expect in our first interview, but this was better than I could have ever expected.
What an honor.
This is definitely not your last time on the podcast. We might be a 3-headed monster. I know you got a lot going on with the 19 teams that you're their goalie coach for, but we got to steal your time sometimes again. So thank you again for coming on.
My pleasure.
Pierce, thank you very much. We'll probably get you back on. Before we let you go, though, putting you on the spot here, give us your favorite or your biggest Mike's memory, your biggest memory of Mike's. Harley Michaels playing with him. Let the fans know who they're listening to right now. Do you got one that sticks out to you?
I got the one on ice one that I referenced earlier. It's a quick one. There's definitely some off ice ones, though. They're kind of just both you, though. I think all the off ice ones are you two together, just joined at the hip all the time. I think one Mike's one for sure on ice, never forget. We're playing in Anna Marie somewhere, right? No disrespect to them. They had a rink as good as our rink where it's half outdoors. You got to wear skate guards to walk over, right? We're playing. I don't know what the score is. You got the puck behind the net. You're feeling real big time. And I think this is when the Sonk Yandel thing really started to catch wind. So you scream. There's no people in the crowd, so everybody can hear you. You scream. Sonk, try to get a guy, take one step out, tape-to-tape pizza right to their guy standing in the slot. Luckily, he just buried it in my chest because he was probably as surprised as I was. But that one definitely stands out as an on-ice one for Mike's.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember it either, but I probably buried it in my memory for a good reason. And now I'll have some trouble sleeping at night. But shout out to Pierce for not being a Dobeš goalie that's just a bubble goalie. He was square to the puck when I threw out a pizza in front of the net. That was a Sonk. Jesus Christ. All right.
You got anything else for us, Mike? Pierce, any last thoughts? Any last comments? Anybody?
I would say you should be... Habs are in good hands, right? You should be happy that you're not the Oilers. I haven't score checked if they blew this game yet too, but you're a lot better off having Fowler, Montembeault, and Dobeš than you are having Jari, Pickard, and Ingram. So the crease could be worse over in Eastern Canada.
Yeah, I guess we'll finish. You're right. We'll finish off with an Oilers 3-1 win over the Nashville Predators. So we'll tip our caps to that. Empty netter for Zach Hyman. And I think that pretty much does it for episode 7 of the Locker Box podcast, where we made history. Pierce, you'll always be in the history books, and we'll get you back on. Fans, thank you for listening. like, comment, subscribe and follow on all of our socials, and we'll be back with you hopefully with a more successful Habs week.